Fine Girl Time, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, that means that you are already a fine girl. So welcome back, fine girls. I am super excited. So we're having a great time. We're like, what? Yes, splinters. I look over there, and then all of a sudden, guess who we see running up? I'm like, Megan, there's Krabby Patty. So we walk over there, we see Krabby Patty, and he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. He could feel the energy exuding from the distance I was at, okay? Because I was pretty turned, okay? Not turned, but I was pretty worked up because I'm just like, and did you just scam us? Did you try to scam us? But then he was like, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Calm down, calm down. Y'all are supposed to be here at 5 a.m. And we was like, it's Carnival. Why did you think we were going to be here at 5 a.m.? Like, we just got home at 3 a.m. and you thought we were going to be here at 5 a.m. Granted, some people do that, but I need my beauty rest. So I was like, you gave me 3 numbers, just not the contact at all? He was like,
I gave you 3 numbers because I thought we could stay in contact too. Like, you could get things for Carnival and you can talk to me after too.
And I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to talk to you after because you don't have my, you didn't have my ticket. You just left me out to dry. You just left me out to dry, okay? I had to sneak behind an old woman to try and get in here. And this, and that. And he's like,
come on, let's come to the side. Let's come to the side and talk.
So I'm just like, I look at Megan. She's like, I'm just like, Krabby Patty, we sit over near a bench so we can like hear each other better because in the background all we hear is so we move over to the bench. So once we get to the bench, it's like a little quieter in that area because it's kind of far away. And then he was like,
okay, so I have some things for y'all.
So he goes to like whatever area. He comes back, he brings us some stuff that we could use. One was like a phone cover. Well, it's not like this, but one was a phone cover. That was something really important. And I ended up using that on vacations and stuff. But a phone cover was one that I remember. And it was some other stuff too. And then he was like,
how much did y'all pay for y'all tickets?
And when he said that, I was like, time for me to start doing some math in my head. So I was like, carry the one. I told him twice as much of what we really paid. And he was like,
okay, I'm gonna cash app you. What's your cash app?
It's Fine Girl Time. And then he cashed at me the money. And I like touched it. So I'm like, thanks, Krabby Patty. And then he was like,
no problem. Have fun, okay? And don't forget to use those numbers.
And I'm just like, and then we continue the party. So basically, we're having a good time. I update Megan on what's going on over the music because at this point, we're like dancing. I'm like, he gave me the money and I asked him for twice as much. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's great, that's great. So we have our money back. Like, the scammer tried to scam us, but we scammed. Honestly, I don't think he was trying to scam us. I think like we were really supposed to get up early, and most people do get up early to start Juve, but girl, I needed to sleep. Okay, so after Juve, we later go out to go to this party, okay? First place we go to is, the club doesn't really matter, but it's somewhere in Wynwood. We are having a good time, but it's kind of like, it's not as many people as we would like it to be. These 2 guys came up to us. One starts talking to me. He is from Westchester, New York, and we just start talking, but I can tell from this conversation that I don't even like him, and this conversation is not going to go far at all. But I might get stuck talking to him because my friend is enjoying his friend. So we're outside, we're waiting to go into the place, and we are just like, we're just talking, and I'm the friend that got to pee all the time. So I go around the corner and I just pop a squat real quick behind this dumpster, wipe, and then I come back in the line, get some sanitizer from my purse, and you know, I'm all good. So I continue my conversation with this person. We'll call him Tawny because his hair was like kind of brown and his skin was brown. So I'm talking to Tawny, we're having a cool time. We end up going inside, and me and my friend, we thought that we were gonna separate from that. The only reason we were talking to them was because we were in the line with them and just making time go by, right? And they decided to get us some drinks. I'm talking to Tawny, and Megan is talking to the other person. So while I'm talking to Tawny, we're having a regular conversation, but then he was like, so do you date men? And mind you, he's not a he's a person from New York. So when he asked me this, I'm asking him, So why do you ask that? Like, I don't answer his question. I'm just like, why do you ask that? Because I'm just wondering, where does this come from? Because it has nothing to do with the conversation, and it was just weird. It was a weird question to ask because it has nothing to do with our conversation. So I said, I date people who have a good head on their shoulders, who are financially and mentally well, and they're kind people. And, you know, like, I go on to say, like, I don't disqualify or automatically qualify people based on their race or their ethnicity. So yeah, that was strange to be asked that. I kind of like get Megan because I'm just like, like, girl, you ready to go? You want to try a different place? And we were like, we decide, yeah, we want to try a different place. I guess they overheard us talking and they were like, okay, y'all want us to like drop y'all off where y'all need to go. I would have been okay with taking an Uber because I was not too fond of these people, but Megan was like, okay, yeah, you can drop us off and we'll stop. And they wanted to stop and get some food. So we stopped and they were being so weird, y'all. They were being so weird. And basically they were trying to smash. They were trying to see if they could smash because, well, the guy I was talking to, he knew he couldn't. But I'm thinking the guy that Megan was talking to thought that he could do that with her. And I guess the other guy was just like hoping for the best, like, oh, maybe mine will do that too. But no, that did not happen for either one of us. And we ended up just getting an Uber anyway, and we got an Uber from that food place to go our next destination because we was looking too cute to even be in that location. So the next place we went to was this party that we had tickets for. So we're waiting in the line. There's a guy line, there's a girl line, and guess who I see in the line? Britt Bay. So he's talking to this guy. I'm pretending he doesn't even exist because even though you my vacation boyfriend, like, I will ignore you, okay? My ignore game is on 100. So I ignored him, and while I'm like just pretending, you know, I'm just doing my own thing, the guy, there's another guy that like comes up to me and he starts talking to me. He's pretty attractive. He's from New York. And he was just like, hey, you know, he's like trying to get to know me. We're talking, I'm laughing, and it's like, having a fun time. And then all of a sudden, oh, okay, now Britt Bay wants to turn around and see what's up and see me over here existing. So he comes over here basically talking, and he's like, oh, hey, Dawn. And I'm just like, hey, because he, you know, he really warmed up my heart because I'm like, oh, babe. But I should have been like, you saw me here. So at first I was just like, oh, hey. And then that made the guy next to me kind of like stop talking to me because Britt Bay started talking to me. So we're talking, we're having a good time, talking. We finally get inside. The girls, they're able to get inside first because the line was shorter for the girls than the guys. So they letting us in. Mind you, throughout these different days, Megan had been texting Crybaby. I had been texting Britt Bay. We inside. Now, when we get inside, we see two groups of people that we've talked to before. So I see, actually, I don't have two groups of people now that I think about it. So I see Britt Bay. He's over there looking good with his friend, Ade. But Megan, however, has two different groups of people in the same place. So she has Crybaby and Crybaby best friend, Chauncey, okay? So I'm like automatically, you know how you have a friend group and like because your friend's talking to somebody, you kind of like talk to the other person that's there. I don't like Chauncey. Chauncey doesn't like me. And it's not like we have anything negative to say about the other one. We're just like, we know that we are only talking to each other because our crazy friends like each other. It's funny because we still like talk occasionally. Yeah, me and Chauncey, we just like talk in passing more so. So I like dance with him for a bit, but then I got bored because it was boring dancing with him. Yeah, so I just more so gravitated towards Britt Bay. So me and Britt Bay, we're dancing. So I'm like looking back there, dancing on Britt Bay. We're having a great time, fun. Now Ade is looking at my friend Megan dance with Crybaby. Now let me tell you what Crybaby is wearing on, okay? Crybaby, he has on a Gucci headband, he has on a Gucci shirt, Gucci pants, Gucci glasses, Gucci band. He is wearing so much Gucci, and Ade peeps this, okay, but he doesn't like it. But we'll talk about that later because that's a part of the story. So Ade is like, he would purposely walk near my friend and Crybaby, I guess to make them feel awkward, and he would just like dance over there. And then my friend, she notices and she's just like, hey. So we go into the bathroom, and soon as we get in the bathroom, I was like, so my bitches in the club, and I know they know about each other. So then she starts dancing with me. We start singing the song. It was like, oh, they know about each other. And then she was like, oh my goodness, yes, do you see him dancing around me? I'm like, yes, girl, he's dancing around you. Like, he is so creepy. He is so creepy. What are you gonna do? And it's so weird because, like, I'm supposed to say this person's real name. Britt Bay and Ade were complete opposites. Complete opposites of each other. How they made that friendship work, I don't know. But they made it work somehow. So we're talking about it, and I'm just like, okay, so like, which group are you gonna be with? You gotta make a choice, girl. Which one you gonna pick? And or you can just like not pick either one. She's like, I'm picking Crybaby. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, have fun. I will be dancing with my little birthday, and we'll just be having fun. So we come back to the dance floor. So me and Britt Bay, we start dancing. He's like, hey, you want a drink? I'm like, yeah, I want a drink. So we go to the bar, we get a drink, we start talking and everything. We start talking and drink. Like that starts. We start dancing, all that stuff. So it gets super hot in there, sweaty. It's so many people in there. I have on like this cute white dress, and it's so much fun, but I am like literally sweating, okay? Oh, sweating so much. So Megan's like, oh, I'm gonna go outside with Crybaby. And I was like, okay, you sure you're gonna go out there? I'll go out there with you too. But can we come back in if you go out? And she's like, yeah, I think we can. So we go towards the door. I start to feel a little breeze, so I'm like, oh, this was a little better. But she leaves out the door. I asked the lady, if you leave, can you come back in? And she was like, no, once you leave, you can't come back in. And I was like, okay, well, I'll be staying in here a bit longer. And so she went out to talk to Crybaby. Now I continue dancing. I'm like, dancing. And then I get a text from Megan. She's like, hey, they said they will take us to the house. And I was just like, are you not hungry? And so I had to start to think, and I'm just like, okay, am I going to, somehow get Megan back in here so we can have fun and continue, like, our fun time? Like, we don't necessarily have to dance with these guys to have fun. Or am I gonna go out there and not be able to come in? Or am I going to go out there, talk the lady into like, okay, if I go out there, I can come back in? She's like, okay, cool, no problem. So I go out there and I start to talk to Megan, and now I see that it's two people in the car. So it's her, well, of course, but it would be Crybaby, and then it'd be Chauncey in the car. Now, Chauncey was driving, Crybaby was in the passenger seat. Yeah, they wanted to go back to our Airbnb. So, let me tell y'all, before we even went on this trip, Megan told me, hey, if I do anything that's like questionable, or like if I seem like I'm gonna talk to another guy, just make sure, like, tell me not to, like, get in the middle and tell me not to. Typically, that's not my role in the friendship. I am not the blocker, okay? That's actually Megan. She is the blocker in this friendship. So when she told me that, I was just like, that's like out of my characteristic. Like, I just let my friends do what they want to do, long as they're safe and, they feel comfortable with it and they're not like drunk or anything like that, then do what you want. So she told me this before we even, like, the beginning of the trip. I forgot to tell y'all that. So she says that, what's his face, those two guys, the New York guys, they're gonna take us to the Airbnb. And I was just thinking, they're gonna take us to the Airbnb? Okay, why do you want them to take you to the Airbnb? Like, at least the Brit guys, like, they give us food and they take us to the Airbnb. Those guys, they just give you Airbnb. I didn't want to leave my friend in the car alone with two guys, and I didn't want to be alone with two guys, but honestly I would have never been alone with two guys. I would have just took Uber to go back to the apartment when I was done with the party. But I didn't want to leave her in the car alone with the two guys, so I was just like, okay, let me go tell him that I'm about to leave now. So I tell him, I go inside again and I'm just like, hey UK babe, I'm about to go, I'm gonna head out with my friend. And he was just like,
oh, okay.
So he felt some type of way. Like, I ended up finding out later that he felt some type of way. He thought I was gonna go, like I chose like the other guy, Chauncey, over him, when that wasn't the case. I was just like, no, like I didn't want to leave my friend alone with 2 guys. And he was just like,
oh, okay, that makes sense.
Like, he ghosted me and everything because of that. And I was just like, whatever. Like, well, he eventually not ghosted me because we ended up talking about the situation. But so this situation, so we go into the car with them. They take us home. More so, Chauncey takes us home. Now, here's where things start to get weird, okay? Megan and I walk out of the car, and Crybaby walk out of the car. That part doesn't get weird. But what gets weird is when I walk in the house, Megan walked in the house. Guess who also walks in the house? Crybaby. So I'm just like, why though? If he walking in the house, well, maybe he's like, I'm not, in most cases I would think the gentleman would walk you to the door and he'll skedaddle, okay? Like when the guys dropped us off home, they walked us to the door. That was the end of that. They were on their way, okay? This person, Crybaby, he didn't do that. He sat on the couch and he started getting comfortable, y'all. So I'm just like, what's going on here? I was like, maybe they want to talk for a little bit. You know, it's quieter in here than it was the club. So I just start to take a shower. I go to the shower. I start showering. And then I start thinking about what my friend told me in the beginning. She was like, yeah, if I seem like I'm about to do something questionable, stop me. So I was just like, well, I mean, just because she like talking doesn't mean it's like questionable. Like, would her boyfriend want her to do this? No. And then I was like, well, it's really not my job to stop her from doing anything. Like, she's an adult. She needs to do what she wants to do. And if she wants to stop herself, she needs to stop herself. Or if anything crazy happens, of course I can like jump in. But I am kind of confused at this point. Well, not really confused, but I'm just like, I think back to what she told me. I get out the shower, I finish up, and I'm thinking he's not in there anymore because Chauncey is in the car waiting for him, okay? So I look in the living room and I see the 2 of them talking still. And I'm just like, why is he still here? So that's none of my business, okay? We're both adults. So I just start to go to bed. I go to bed, but I can't sleep all the way. Like, I do go to sleep, but I didn't sleep soundly because we have a stranger in our home, okay? In our Airbnb. So I randomly like wake up in the middle of the night. I'm thinking it's like the next day. Well, it technically is the next day. We arrived at the house the next day, but I'm thinking it's hours have passed. Granted, hours have passed, and this man is still at the house. I'm like, hey Megan, can I talk to you? Because at this point, it doesn't even matter what she's doing. I couldn't care less what she's doing with this Crybaby. It's just the fact that there's a stranger in here. So I'm like, Megan, like, what are you gonna do with him? Like, he needs to go. He gotta go. This Airbnb is not for him, baby. Is he putting in? And at this point, I'm not whispering because I don't really care. I don't care. So I'm just like, what is he going to do? Is he gonna go home? He needs to go home. Where's his friend? Is Chauncey outside? Where's Chauncey? Chauncey drove off without him? Yeah, he's been here a long time. So I was annoyed at this point because I'm just like, you really have this random stranger in here. Could you not do everything that you wanted to do and just kick him out after? He is not gonna stay here. And then I was like, if he does stay here, he needs to put in on a prorated amount on the Airbnb if he's gonna stay here. But then again, I don't even want him to stay here because he's a random and we don't know him. So she is just, and then I was just like, you know, you want to do this, remember this situation, okay? Because I don't want to hear your mouth if the roles are reversed and something like this happens. And this is important to remember. I don't want to hear your mouth if anything like this comes up, because in the past, if you watch this story time, you know she gets a little irate and stuff. So at that point, then she starts feeling some type of way towards me, and she's like, he's gonna go home. He's gonna go home. You don't have to be mean to him like that. I am not even being mean to him. So I'm just telling you what is going on. You told me that you want me to stop you if you get in a situation or like whatever. I personally don't care what situation you get yourself into if you are not harming yourself. But you can do anything that you wanted to do, but he cannot stay here. He cannot stay here, especially not for free. Especially not for free. That ride here, thank you. Okay, it's not like the ride here was gonna break the bank or anything, especially split between 2 people. So that's not even that much. Okay, so this is me talking to y'all at this point. But if something were to, why you didn't even get a meal? Okay, I feel like the least you should get is a meal. So at this point, I'm just wondering how the rest of this trip is going to go, because and she is like defending this guy that she doesn't even know. And I'm just like, I don't care about him. Just make sure his friend comes home. So at this point, I'm getting annoyed because she is like defending this guy that she doesn't even know. And then I was like, call your friend. Call your friend. Call your friend. Get Chauncey. Chauncey needs to be here. So I did end up getting Chauncey's number. So I'm like, Chauncey, where are you? Why aren't you here? Your friend is still at the house. And then he was like,
I don't know. He took forever to come back in. He never came back in. I called him, so I just figured he was staying the night there.
and I was like, I don't know why you thought that. I don't know why you thought that. Clearly, maybe the plan was for him to stay there, and I was the only person that didn't know because I'm busy saying bye to Brett Bay. So maybe that was the plan and I just didn't know it, and I messed up their plan for him to stay the night there. Like, you are not